Hey everyone, welcome to the second video on this channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing off my current collection, what I own, and sharing a little bit more about how I got into collecting physical media and Blu-rays and DVDs and all of that type of stuff, sort of where it started and where it stemmed from, and just showing you guys sort of what I own and showing you what I like, as well as anything interesting that I know about the DVDs slash movies or series at all. Like I said, towards the end of the video, I'll also be showing sort of what I want to get in the future. So I think without further ado, let's just get right into it. So before we get started, I'll show you the first ever piece of physical media I bought with my own money, sort of which one I first started collecting and what started this whole collection thing. I'll give a little bit of background. I've always been into long series, sort of series from 2004 to I would say 2013, 14, somewhere around there. Series that have like long seasons, such as The Walking Dead, Lost, House MD, The Mentalist, stuff like that. Like series that are quite long and have an interesting background and story behind them. So about March last year, while I was still living with my parents, we would spend a lot of time watching TV together. I found that I quite enjoyed the longer series, like I mentioned, because it's something that you could really get invested in. Not like today's TV shows where it's 8 or so episodes and you don't really feel a connection to the series as a whole, or the character even. Aside from maybe like some series like The Punisher maybe, but they were really well done to begin with. So except for that exception, I like long TV shows. So around March last year, like I said, I started watching Lost by myself, and I found the first half a season pretty good. So I decided I'm going to stop watching it, and instead of watching it myself alone, like on my computer while I do work or something, I'm gonna watch it with my parents at night. And originally my dad didn't really like it. Lost was a series that I believe my mom and dad have tried before in the past, and they never really got past the first or second season. I thought it was pretty good, and they watched it last a long time ago, so I thought, why not try and show it to them again? We probably got to around like a quarter way through season 2 before I realized I really did like the series. I like the people, you know, Locke, Charlie, Kate, Sawyer. I like the whole story about them on the island, figuring out the island and the Dharma Initiative. And as we progressed towards season 3 watching with them, I sort of figured this would be a really cool show to have on DVD. And that was the first ever time that really occurred to me. So I did some research, and there was this creator I followed online called Cookie King, who did mostly the Walking Dead type related content, and then later on in his career he did do a little bit of Lost content. And I had seen him buy a box set of Lost, the series, the one with backgammon in, and it had like the pyramid. It was like the proper big box set, that the collector's edition essentially, and it was really cool, but I couldn't get it locally. It was really difficult to get locally, so I decided I'll just settle for the DVDs because it's cool to have all those little pieces, but it's just not feasible to import them into my country because it costs like a lot of money. And back then I didn't know if I really liked having all of that stuff yet, so I just decided I'll settle with just the normal DVDs and Blu-rays for now. So the first ever series I did actually get on Blu-ray was the series Lost, and this was probably halfway through season 3. As you can see, the complete collection. It's got all 6 series in. It's got a cool little map on the top as well. The back has got like all those specifications. For example, in season 4 here, you can only play it in my country for some reason, whereas all the others are playable pretty much anywhere else on a Blu-ray player. Because if you don't know, on Blu-ray players, they are region specific, so it depends on where you live. You can only play certain region coded discs. I'm a region B user. If I wanted to play a region A disc, I'd have to buy a region A Blu-ray player, which is not accessible in my country either. It's something you gotta import as well, which again, pretty expensive. It's the first ever thing I have actually owned from a series that I had watched that I thought was pretty cool to have in physical media. And as you can see, it's not open. I've never opened any of my, except for a few I may have opened, but they usually come with the package slightly ripped, so I think what's the point? I might as well just open it. But this one I've never opened at all. It was such a cool piece to have from a series that I've watched. Suffice it to say though, Lost wasn't as great of a series as I had anticipated in the beginning. The first 3, maybe 4 seasons are pretty good. The last few seasons kind of drop off, and the ending is sort of just pointless to the whole series. Like, it doesn't conclude anything properly, and it was kind of disappointing. And I had read that it was pretty disappointing, but I'm that guy that likes to watch it anyways, because you as a person might have a different opinion to another person about a series you enjoy, or just something in general. But it was alright, and I had the box set, so I mean, I could play it anytime I wanted to. The characters, the story in the beginning was really good, and I didn't mind the last 2 seasons sort of falling off per se. But after the Lost series, I had turned my head a little more towards movies, and I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. From the books to the movies to a lot of the games that they released Lord of the Rings wise, I've played pretty much anything and everything I get my hands on. As you can see, I've got the books actually in my collection: Lord of the Rings, the first, second and third book, as well as the Hobbit, and I have the Silmarillion, as well as Beren and Luthien. And I'm actually looking to expand this collection as well. That's something I'm looking to do on this channel as well. Find some more J.R.R. Tolkien books, stuff like the Atlas of Middle-earth, the Adventures of Tom Bombadil, like the lesser stuff that not a lot of people know about, that would be cool to have in a collection as a Lord of the Rings fan. But after Lost, I turned my head towards Lord of the Rings. It's actually a time that I had been rewatching the movies as well as the Hobbit movie. One evening, I realized, just like the Lost series, I could probably get this on physical media, because it's a trilogy that I really enjoy watching. I've probably watched it many times over, and to this day it doesn't disappoint. From the visual effects to the story, everything was really well done. Peter Jackson did a really great job with it. So when I decided to buy this box set of Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, I bought the Lord of the Rings trilogy One Ring limited edition 4K UHD box. It comes in a little box like this with the Warner Bros. Home Entertainment on, and when I actually bought this from my supplier, it was one of 4 left in the supplier's inventory, so it's something that I had to actually reserve until I had enough money to buy it. But I bought it pretty much the week after I reserved it, so it was fine. This is again a box that I've never actually opened myself. As you can see, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, it looks pretty much like a book. Comes with an extended edition of all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, as well as a limited edition One Ring on a necklace, I believe. I don't know, I've only seen pictures, I haven't opened it because this was more of a collector's item when I bought it. But this for me was sort of a no-brainer when I bought it. It is not one of the best trilogies, it is the best trilogy of any movie franchise to date. So after the Lord of the Rings trilogy I bought with the limited One Ring, I sort of shifted back towards TV, and I started buying some more stuff that I thought was timeless. So that sort of brought me to my favorite series of all time, and it has a lot of flaws in the franchise, but The Walking Dead to this day has been my favorite series of all time. Characters like Daryl Dixon, Negan, it was just a perfect series for someone that enjoyed long series like I did, someone that enjoyed zombie shows like I did. It was just a really good show overall. I must say, it's probably one of the coolest sets I own. 177 episodes on 56 discs, and it's got special features for all 11 seasons. So that'd be pretty cool to see as well if you're a big fan like I am. And on its side here you can see Mr. Rick Grimes. Everyone else, there's Mr. King Ezekiel, Simon, there's Laurie, Noah, Mercer, Jadis. Seasons 1 to 3 are really good, and seasons 4 to 8 are actually my favorite, where Rick becomes a little more brutal and he understands sort of the world that he's living in. He needs to protect his family, who's become this big group of people. The Governor in season 3 was such a good villain. Negan, an amazing villain as well. Gareth kind of pissed me off, but he was an okay villain enough. And the Commonwealth, while I thought it was a good idea to add into this series, I feel like it added a little bit more of the unrealistic aspect of trying to rebuild the modern world in that world. Like, they were still using money. It was such a big community. The fact that they hadn't been overrun was pretty impressive. It was kind of unrealistic compared to how many times during the season's runtime we saw communities get overrun, overthrown, just broken down. It felt like the Commonwealth was sort of this dreamland that someone had sort of dreamt up, and it was supposed to be there to add some relief from actually the zombie aspect of the series, and add a little bit more of the human political side of the world back into the series, which I thought it was okay. But for characters like Daryl Dixon and Negan and those type of characters that had been out there for so long and weren't accustomed to it, it just felt wrong to put our characters in that type of environment and now have to adapt their lifestyles to fit what was ultimately just a season, maybe a season and a half's worth of content. But nonetheless, I thought it was a pretty good series. Daryl going off to look for Rick at the end of the series started the Daryl Dixon series, which has been okay in its runtime. The first season was great. The next 2 weren't as great. They were okay. I think The Walking Dead was running out of ideas, so why not send Daryl to France, you know? The Ones Who Live was alright as well. I felt like they rushed that series and there wasn't enough content given for the amount of explaining they actually had to do, and the timeline of just Michonne and Rick taking down that part of the CRM just seemed, again, a little unrealistic to me. But again, it's Rick Grimes, it's Michonne, this is The Walking Dead, we roll with it. Dead City with Negan and Maggie, really good as well, but it's something that I feel like a lot of viewers don't enjoy because of Negan and Maggie's past. So I feel like it's a little bit confusing confusing to have them two in a series and trying to act like they're working with each other towards something greater. But overall, it's an okay series. The first season was great. The second and third season, well, I'm not actually sure if there is a third season. I really haven't been following that show for that long. They haven't done a lot of marketing with it, so it doesn't feel like something that AMC is actively trying to promote. It's sort of something that they've been giving to The Walking Dead to sort of bring a reunion together for this whole group again before they can end the series off, which I am hoping they're doing in the near future. But the first season, like I said, it was okay. Second and third one, I haven't watched it, so I can't really give an opinion. The Walking Dead, great series. I'm really happy to have it on Blu-ray. It was such a good purchase. The next thing I had bought from my collection was now in the Lord of the Rings universe again. As you can see, we jumped back and forth quite a lot, but this is just because I had enough money to buy this now, and I was really excited about buying it because compared to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I think this is such a good, I don't know if you would call it a prequel or a sequel. It was made after the Lord of the Rings, but technically in the timeline it happens before the Lord of the Rings, so it's a little bit confusing, but nonetheless it's one of the greater sequels slash prequels that have ever been made. Comes in this little box again, Warner Brothers. If we open it, this is the Hobbit 4K Ultra HD Steelbook edition. So this doesn't have any special like rings or anything that comes with it, but it is the Steelbook edition, which means it comes in this beautiful, as you can hear, case. So as you can see, the Hobbit, it's got there the trilogy with the little Hobbit door. On the side here is it's actually got 3 movies. It looks like they're in cases within a case as well, which looks pretty cool. Again, I haven't opened one of these before. If it is something you guys want to see, please let me know. I would love to open these, but up until now I really haven't had a reason to open these. It's been more of a collector's edition type of thing, and I've kept them sealed because it holds more value, I believe. And on the back here you can see all 3 theatrical and extended films on 6 discs, and then again on the back it's got some of the content specifications. Again, it's a really cool one to have if you're a Lord of the Rings fan or a Middle Earth fan in general. It was a really good book when I read it. It was actually the first ever J.R.R. Tolkien book I read, and that sort of got me on my path in Lord of the Rings. And later on I discovered Lord of the Rings books, obviously, as well as playing Lord of the Rings Online, which is an online game based within Middle Earth as well. It's free to play, a lot of content for free. It's an MMORPG, so if you like MMOs, it's really nice. If you don't, just give it a try anyways. They're always fun. After the Hobbit series I turned myself again to a different movie franchise. This is a franchise that my dad and my mom have always really sort of hated. They just genuinely didn't like the franchise, but it was eventually again something I got them to watch with me. We watched from the first ever movie ever made in this franchise to the last ever movie made in this franchise, and we're currently waiting on the next one coming out in June or July, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but this was a series that I'd always sworn off because my mom and dad have always said it was bad. But eventually when I got old enough, I watched it myself, and it was actually a really good series. The problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is if you don't watch the movies in order or the series in order or any of the content in order, it doesn't really make sense. If you watch Avengers Endgame and then Captain America Civil War, it doesn't really make sense. You've got to start it from the beginning all the way to the end because it's a long story that they're trying to tell, and you need to understand all the small little details through the movies over the years, and it'll eventually culminate in Endgame, which I still believe to this day is the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The new Avengers, they're alright, but they're not my cup of tea. Regardless, I bought my first ever Marvel pack. This is phase 1 of the Cinematic Universe. As you can see here, it's got some collectibles and art card posters in it, as well as a bonus disc. Comes in a little case which opens with the Tesseract in the middle, and on the back you can see sort of the posters they give you, the art cards, and each of the little discs. Again, this is a really cool set to have if you really want to start collecting the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There is a bigger set called the Infinity set, I believe, which has pretty much from the first movie ever to Avengers Endgame. That was the Infinity Saga. I wanted to get that, but it's not available where I live, and it was a limited edition set and you can't really get it. And what I've read from reviews is it isn't the greatest quality either in terms of the cases that they keep the CDs in. It's apparently cardboard and not like a proper case, which is a little bit disappointing, but to be honest, I don't think I was ever gonna get that. I just settled to get the 3 phases, starting with phase 1, and they aren't that expensive either. They're cool to have as well, and obviously if you order the first one, you can't not have the second one, right? Well, it turns out you can. So I've actually ordered the second one from the same supplier who supplied me the first one. Just as I ordered it, a few days later, they started with this whole war thing in America. And apparently the supplier uses routes through Dubai, so we couldn't get our stuff. So it's on hold for now, but this is sort of what it looks like. It looks pretty cool. As you can see, phase 2 has the other movies: Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Captain America the Winter Soldier, pretty good movie in my opinion, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first ever Guardians of the Galaxy, which I had avoided for many years because I wasn't the biggest sci-fi fan in the world. I don't like Star Wars, Star Trek, that type of stuff. So I'd avoided Guardians of the Galaxy because I thought it was something very similar. But when I watched it for the first time, I really understood that it wasn't anything like Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that. It was its own sort of sci-fi genre, which I've come to really enjoy. We've also got here Avengers Age of Ultron, one of my favorite Avengers of all time. And then we've also got Ant-Man here as well, which, let's face it, isn't the greatest Marvel movie in the world. And obviously on phase 2, as you can see, we have another Infinity Stone there. You'll notice that this whole box set sort of series comes with all the Infinity Stones sort of on the front as the sort of theme of each phase. So on phase 1 we had the Tesseract, on phase 2 we have another Infinity Stone, I'm not exactly sure which one that is again, and on phase 3 we have the Time Stone, which Doctor Strange keeps. As you can see on the stick here, we've got a 5-film collection. This one, however, I bought from eBay because the supplier couldn't get phase 3 again. And as you can see, this is the 4K Ultra HD Plus Blu-ray, and as you can see on the bottom here, it's part 1 of phase 3. On the side, as you can see again, it comes in sort of a sleeve, and on the back here you can see we've got the collectible art posters again. We have each disc here laid out, as well as some of the art card posters there. It's an 11 disc collector's edition. This is again a really cool box set to have for the Marvel Cinematic Universe if you're interested. And moving swiftly along, we have the only phase 3 part 2, the conclusion, in my opinion, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Part 2, the collector's edition. Again, I bought this one from amazon.co.uk because it wasn't available in my country, which I then had to import within import services, which actually cost way more than I thought it would, but it eventually got here. This set, we have all of the stones and the center stone as well. On the side here again, you can see it comes in all the sleeve and splits down the center, and on the back again, 14 disc collector's edition, posters, the art cards, each movie laid out there with some bonus discs. One of the must-haves if you're collecting a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie series. Just like that, I have most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in physical media here. Again, at any point in time, if I wanted to watch these, I can. I have a Blu-ray player, I can pop it in. I don't need to wait for anyone, I don't need to pay for it again. There are obviously a lot of plot holes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and debatable topics. As a movie franchise, it's really good, it's wacky, it's interesting, it caters to a lot of what people are looking for in superhero movies, and it sort of set the bar for many years for superhero movies and what the superhero franchise should be. Over the past few years though, I have seen a decline in some of their movies. Captain America Brave New World, I wasn't a massive fan of. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, a really good movie. Overall, really enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Recommend to have on Blu-ray or 4K if you can. After that, we jump back to a series. Now, this is a massively popular series. I originally bought the Blu-ray version of it, but the supplier then told me that they didn't have a Blu-ray version available here in South Africa, and they could offer me the DVD version instead. So I said, why not? Because when I was trying to find it here in South Africa, I couldn't actually find a Blu-ray version that would play in South Africa. Most of what I had to find was in the UK via eBay, which again I have to import, which costs a lot of money, and I just wasn't up for it at the time. This set, of course, is the beautiful Breaking Bad. Now, this is unfortunately, like I said, on DVD. Isn't the greatest quality as we know, but at least we have the series. As you can see here, Breaking Bad, the complete series. As you can see on the back here, one of the greatest dramas of all time. It contains 62 episodes on 21 discs, 50 hours of bonus features, and then it's got some specifications and the not for rental sign and all that good stuff. What's exciting about this one is that it actually came ripped. It had a plastic coating on, like these ones. You can see it's got like this plastic coating on. This one actually came ripped in the mail, so I thought there's no use on having it on then, right? So this is actually one of the first ever sets that I have that's open, which is pretty cool. If we open them up here, you can see the first book that we have. There's two books. Now on the front of the first case here, you can see pretty much one of the first shots that we see of Walter White in the actual series. It's him in his underwear with the gas mask and the RV behind him with the gun in his hand. The gun looks a little bit small, I must say. Iconic shot right there. If we page over, we'll see him, and you can see in the one shot here they're cooking. It looks like, yeah, in the RV, and on the side here they're in the lawn chairs. Jesse with his bat, Walt with the meth and a gun in his hand. If we page over this side, you'll see we've got Mr. Gus Fring, Los Pollos Hermanos, and in the back there we also have money. Over the top you can see Mr. Gus Fring was a businessman after all, and in the back there we have his iconic car and Mike Ehrmantraut. If we page over again, you'll see all the discs, season 1 and 2 up until disc 2 and 3, I believe. And you can see this one where Jesse and Walt are sitting in the desert. If we flip that open, we have another picture here with the Salamanca brothers, and if we flip that open again, we can see all the rest of our series up until season 3, the end of season 3. Oh, and on the first disc here we've got the gas masks, which Hank finds. So that's the first booklet. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. I really do enjoy the artwork they have on these. It's really creative, it's really interesting. And then on the back we have this artwork where I believe they eventually figure out that they can start cooking with methylamine. There's the methylamine barrels in the back, and I believe that's when they meet Gus Fring and really start to hit their operation off. Onto the second book here, you can see we've got Walter White looking scary. If we open it up, you can see there we've got Jesse looking all interesting with his facial hair now, with the gun in his hand, and Walt standing in the background. And then we have another photo here, Jesse and Walt in the lab with Gus Fring over them. If we open the side with Jesse on, we'll see we have the first few desks of season 4 here. There's the first appearance of Hank, again Mike, and I believe that's Jesse under there, Saul, Skylar again, God help me. And on the other side, if we open this other side with Mr. Gus on, we can see we have a new little poster here with Walt showing that he wanted to be in the Empire business. And if we open it again, you can see there we've got the family, we've got Jesse again with his good old facial hair, we've got the family again, and then we've got the first appearance of Todd and who's that, Lydia? Yeah, Lydia and Saul. And we have an uncensored disc here, which is pretty cool. As I'm going through these discs now, I realize that some of these discs are uncensored / extended versions of the original episodes. But anyways, that's book 2. Pretty cool to have. I definitely want to get Better Call Saul. I just finished it for the first time. Pretty good as well. It's not available here in my country anymore, so I'll have to probably import it, and I want it in Blu-ray this time, not in DVD. Since I've started editing this video, the box set for Better Call Saul has become available in South Africa, and I am getting it within the next 2 months or so. So if you guys want to see a video on that box set when it arrives, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll even open it. We'll see. I believe it's better than Breaking Bad. And moving on from that, that's where we move into a little bit more of the movie collecting, singular actual cases and discs, rather than the whole series and stuff. The first one I bought in this series of movies / series, I bought the Hunger Games, the complete 4 film. I know there's 5 films now, but I didn't really like the 5th film, so I don't want to get it. I mean, I'm not going to watch something I don't enjoy again. Just buy stuff that you enjoy watching. The second thing I got was The Last of Us Season 1 on Blu-ray. I'm a big The Last of Us fan, and if you've been to my link tree, you'll see I've actually got a channel on The Last of Us game. And I watched the first season of the show. Ellie was such a great casting. Joel was such a good casting as well. Ramsey, Pedro Pascal, and this actually has on the back, as you can see, some bonus content, some never before seen stuff. Just such a good series. It really encapsulated the first game in the season really well. Then I bought the infamous season 2, which I watched halfway through and really didn't watch the rest. They killed Joel off too early, and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie was a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, because I couldn't take her seriously as someone who's trying to be grown up compared to the first series. Nevertheless, I got it. I'm probably gonna get the 3rd season as well, just so that I have a complete collection of this. The next movie I bought in this collection, we only have this one and another one left, and then I'll show you the other ones, is the F1 movie. One of the best movies I've watched in the past year or so. Brad Pitt, Damson Idris had such good chemistry. The whole backdrop of F1 was so good. Nothing really more to say. Good characters, good casting, great plot. Really did enjoy watching it. On to the next, we have Breaking Bad's El Camino. Such a good sequel to Breaking Bad. It showcases Jesse after he escaped the compound that Todd and the others kept them in. It shows how he tries to get his life back. It shows him reuniting with some of his friends, and sort of just after he got captured, what was done to him, etc. It also shows us towards the end his new life, where he's going, that conversation with Mike. If he could go anywhere, he'd go to Alaska, and at the end of the day, when he changes his identity and leaves New Mexico, Albuquerque, he goes to Alaska. Overall, just such a great sequel to Breaking Bad. And on the back here, as you can see, it's got some audio commentary with all the people, the making of it. There's a gag reel, some extended and deleted scenes, just stuff that you'll never find on a digital version of the movie. And again, if you don't have internet, just having it on DVD again, just so convenient to have. The next and final box I've gotten in a long while, aside from the secondhand stuff which is on this bookshelf over here, is these. To start off with, Jumanji, the double pack. This includes the first and the second one. These are just such good movies. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart just have such a good chemistry together, and they were a funnier twist on the original Jumanji. Definitely recommend to watch if you haven't already. Next up, we return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Shang-Chi. Now this is actually a movie when I watched at the time I thought I wouldn't like at all, but this turned out to be one of my favorite movies of the franchise. Different to anything that Marvel has ever done before. It's set in a different culture, and as you can see here, it comes in this little sleeve. So you got the sleeve and the disc as well. This is a 4K Ultra HD disc as well as a Blu-ray disc. Shows you the difference between the two versions, such as the Blu-ray comes with the movie and the bonus features, and the 4K Ultra HD disc is the movie only. And obviously, who doesn't like 4K? I mean, it's the best quality you'll get out there. Next up as well, Black Widow. I really enjoyed this. It wasn't as great as Shang-Chi, but it was pretty good overall. Comes in a sleeve. 4K Ultra HD is the movie only. Blu-ray disc comes with all the bonus features. Next up we have Lucy, which is actually such an old series that I found when I was browsing Black Widow. I remember watching this with my family like years ago. It was actually a really good movie that I'd forgotten about for a really long time and recently rewatched. It's a 4K plus Blu-ray plus digital download disc, 4K Ultra HD movie only, and then disc 2 is Blu-ray movie plus the bonus features. So again, you can get bonus features with these, with the physical media discs. I mean, you don't get that with normal movies anymore. Next up here we have Den of Thieves. Now this is a series I'd actually watched with my parents as well, and overall it's just like any action movie you'll ever watch. The name sort of tells you what it's about anyways. I enjoyed the movie. I thought, why not get it on Blu-ray anyways? If I ever want to watch it in the future, I can. Overall, just a great movie. Would definitely recommend you watch. And then you have the sequel to it, Den of Thieves Pantera, which is again just pretty much like the first one. And then the last one in this is the movie Get Out. It's a psychological thriller. This is a movie I really enjoyed. It was really weird, but Jordan Peele did such a good job creating such a different horror film than I'd seen before. It wasn't necessarily scary like any horror film I've seen. And as you can see again, this is the 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray. On the back here again, 4K Ultra HD, just the movie, and then you get Blu-ray movie plus the bonus features. And that's pretty much all I own in terms of my collection right now. I do have some other discs which I'm not going to show right now because I may use them for a video in the future, but for now we'll just leave them in my backlog, and if I ever do want to show them to you, I will. If you guys want to see them, let me know. If not, is what it is. Now, I do own a bunch of secondhand stuff, and I'm going to switch over to my phone really quick to show you exactly what I own in terms of secondhand stuff, and a little bit more of some other physical media I do own. Hola, editing Tristan here. I decided I'm going to skip the secondhand DVD part of this video completely, because if I add it to this video, it's going to be like an hour long, and honestly, who wants to watch an hour long video? So I decided I'm going to make it its own separate video. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into the outro where I talk a little bit more about the box sets that I want going forward and any other cool little movies that I want for going forward, as well as any future plans I have for this channel. So without further ado, let's just jump into that. As you guys can probably tell, it's something I'm pretty passionate about. I'm constantly collecting more stuff. The next few sets that I want to buy, I'm going to pop up on the screen really quickly. I'll pop them up here. I'm a big sitcom lover fan. I love Modern Family, Big Bang Theory, like a lot of the big sitcoms I'm a really big fan of. I want to buy, next up is the Big Bang Theory. This one right up here, it's the 1 to 12 season on Blu-ray. Always on Blu-ray, never on DVD. Blu-ray is best. Next up, I want to do The Office, which is a little more expensive because where I live, but The Office is such a classic as well. Sort of the pinnacle of sitcoms in my opinion. And then one that I am considering getting is Friends. I'm not a massive Friends fan, but it is like, again, another classic of back in the day before sitcoms were really popular. So I sort of think it's something would be nice to have in the collection. I'm still deciding on it, but again, it's kind of expensive, so I may not get it right now, probably in the near future. But for the moment, I really want to get Big Bang Theory first, and then some other ones that I really do want to get but I'm struggling to find in the country and I may have to import is Modern Family. Such a good series. I've rewatched it so many times. Something that I really want to have as a physical copy. As you guys can see, like I said, I'm pretty passionate about this. It's something that I really enjoy. I'm looking forward to documenting sort of what I'll be collecting next. When they come, I'll do some unboxings, show my reaction to them. But overall, that was just an overview of my collection. I didn't expect the video to be this long. Probably just a lot of yapping that you guys don't want to hear. But I mean, that doesn't really matter. I'm doing this more for me. But anyways, I'm going to end the video here. If there's any more that you'd like to see, or you want to see me unbox a certain thing I have here and sort of show you the process and sort of show you what's inside of it as well, which I'm really keen to do, just let me know. I'm more than happy to do that as well. But other than that, give this video a like if you want to. Subscribe if you're interested in any physical media, or you want to follow my journey and sort of see what I collect next and anything major about physical media. I may even start collecting vinyls soon. They're a little bit difficult to get your hands on unless it's a newer ones, but they're pretty pricey. But anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.